university, we had somewhat called a dome. So this is a dome. We have our colleague, Professor Osano from Masai Mara. Our DVCs who are here, our registrars, our professors, our deans, our chairs of departments, our students, our exhibitors, our sponsors, and everybody else. It's a pleasure to be here. 13 years since inception. And the DVC has said, this is our first innovation and exhibition week. Yet, since I came here, Dean of Students, every week I see people requesting for money to go and attend exhibitions in other universities. Dr. Gola, we want money because we have been invited for exhibition week at University of Nairobi. We request for money because we have been invited for exhibition at even universities that are younger than us. And when you go there, in most cases, you either come out number one or you are first runners up. And you have never invited people to your home. So we want to say, and we challenged each other, that we cannot just be going out. We must also invite people here. Muchonjo, we cannot just be going out, let people also do what? Come. The timing may not have been the best, because I think that's why not very many people are here. And for the first time DVC, you go outside here and you think you feel that you are actually in a university. At times you are here and you are not sure, Dean of Students, that you are in a university. Because I think the only thing that you hear around is that which my good friend Dr. Nyandoro knows how to do. You'll hear a lot of noise around here and people might think, what is happening here? It's actually the performing department. That's why I say the timing is not the very best, because everybody, some of us who didn't do it well, Dr. Averi, this is the time we are tying the what? The knots, because exams are beginning next week. And maybe some of us are students. This is the time we are now remember that, some people were in class. I think we need to look at those notes. But notwithstanding, those of us who believe, I don't know why the chaplain is not here today, but we had a good person who prayed like the chaplain. Those of us who believe know that the road or the way to heaven is narrow, isn't it? And very few people will go through. So in as much as we may not be very many today, even in innovation, that's how things happen. Professor Nyatuka, that's how things happen. We'll all do thesis, we'll all do research, isn't it? Out of the research, very few people will publish. But now, with innovation, it can even be narrower. We can even publish Omosa, but at the end of the day, we may not come up with what? An innovative idea. So the fact that we are this few, but at least the auditorium is full, it tells us that things are happening. And I'm very glad to see our good, very many colleagues here from the School of Health Sciences, or you want me to baptize you, College of Health Sciences, led by their principal here, Dr. Igara. You know, when you see Mbete here and others, and Omore and others, it tells you that shortly there will be a lot of innovations coming from the College of Health Sciences, including innovative ideas that will bring out these things. DVC, you said that we have been doing the traditional mandate of the university. For a long time, we knew that the mandate of the university is teaching, research, and community engagement, or what you call like community extension or extension. That has been the mandate for long. Until the other day, now things are changing. It's not just extension. It's not just research to generate new knowledge and teach, but we also need to do what? To come up with some innovations and commercialize. And therefore stop asking for money to go for a what? For an exhibition, because there will be a lot of money out of the innovation. You will have intellectual property, you will have a patent, you have a lot of money. You'll actually globetrot with all that money. But is that true? DVC, you and I are historians, are some history. I think it's only Europeans, those fellows who pretend that university started in Europe. They are the only ones who might be thinking that there was nothing innovation coming out of our continent. For those of you who don't know it, Africa is the cradle of university education. I know people will tell you, the first university came out in the 15th century in, I don't know where, in Italy. Bologna, or Bologna, as they write. When they write it's Bologna, but I think they pronounce it Bologna. The truth of the matter is, Africa is the cradle of university education. Mheshimiwa Angwenyi, Timbuktu or Timbuktu, Agadez, and Sokoto were centers of intense writing, intense research, all done in the Arabic script. You are writing from the left to the right. And this happened since the 15th century. 15th means 14 something. Forget about these things happening in Italy from 15 something. And you know what they were doing, my lord? They were doing that on business contracts. Is that not law? They were dealing with court decrees. They were dealing with judgments. In fact, before the European colonialism came, these centers had skillful African scholars and scientists in subjects such as astronomy. Is astronomy not taught in the university? Astronomy is the study of stars, Ama? What is that? Astronomy is what? Yeah, for those of you who may not know it, 2 weeks ago I found myself at a university called WITS, or WITS, or Witwatersrand. And they took us to some place where they have a serious dome. And for 1 hour, we were seeing those stars there, and because they teach astronomy. And I want to tell you, Professor, that after 30 minutes I slept. Because the chairs were so good. They are not as bad chairs like these ones. But astronomy was going on. They did chemistry. Professor Nathan, atmospheric chemistry. All professors are not here. There was chemistry. Oh, I even saw that good friend of mine called Ogutu there. There was chemistry. There was climatology and geography. Is Mamboleo here? In other words, I'm doing roll call. Mamboleo is there. There was history. Where is Nyamiaka? Nyamwaka. Nyamwaka is 1 year, Nyamiaka is several years, Professor Wanyama, if you didn't know. There was Islamic studies. Ogola. That was religion, isn't it? I go back to my friend Nani Mheshimiwa there. They had judicial law. They had mathematics. Bogi. They taught mathematics. They had medicine. Professor Oigara. They had optics. I want to assume that was ophthalmology. They had philosophy. They had physics. Who is that? That is Omosa. Who else does physics here? Where is the man from Migori? That is a Gordon, isn't it? They had science in general. And when all these things were happening, we are talking about universities. Generating new knowledge, teaching. And since we are talking about those days, there must have been what? A lot of what? Innovation. But brothers and sisters, the day they came, and those of us who know a little history, 1984, the Berlin Conference on the scramble and partition of Africa. But before that, Omori's brothers, you know, Omori is a man who teaches in the School of Health Sciences and went to some university, I don't know where, in Germany. And with the ideology of colonialism, born and bred in Deutschland, they said there was nothing in the dark continent. There was nothing in the dark continent. Because they say there's no way you'll have education, you'll have innovation, and after all, you are talking about all those things in your mother tongue. They didn't know that a man called Oigara is not among the first surgeons we have around here. Long before Oigara's great-grandfather was born, there were some Kisiis around here who used to do skull surgery. Isn't it? But when these fellows came, they said there is nothing from the dark continent, and you can only have knowledge when it's done in another language. You see, Edome comes from the place that is now known as the cradle of what? Of mankind. Are you saying there was nothing happening there? They came and talked about the language of education. The intellectualized language must be those languages. And for a long time, the language of academia was what? Latin. Just like any other organism, languages are born, they grow, they die. So Latin is no longer there. It's only used by the Pope when he's doing those things, which people like Oigara and Rose Ogata and who else? And Nyamwaka, Nyatuka. You know, that's a language they hear on Sundays when the Pope appears on the window. The language is not there. But I'm glad that the first chair of Kisii University College Council wrote his PhD, his first PhD in 1966 at the University of Cologne in Latin and in philosophy. It's about 35 pages. I've touched it. I didn't know what it was. Then after that, these other languages came in. English, and that's why you go out in the village here, people will tell you, the dean of students will tell you that if you don't speak English, you are not educated. And I don't know, where is I'm still taking roll call. The Dean School of Arts, who is a linguist, will tell you that if you don't speak English with a twang, Aberi will tell you that if you don't speak English with a twang, then you are not educated. But at least the owners of the colonial ideology know that to colonize people, you must understand them. And to understand them, you must know their languages. And that is why the Germans were the first people in the world to appoint a professor of African languages. And that's why people like Mbete don't know that before around 1891, before 1926, we used to write Kiswahili from the left, so right to the left in Arabic script. At least the Germans said you can learn in German. The English up to now and the French told us that you can only be intellectualized. The only intellectualized language is what? Is English, it's French, and the like. But that's a story. We at Kisii University are 14 years or 13 years now. Professor Venga, 2013 to date is, what is that mathematics, Professor Obogi? 13 years. So 13 years. As I said at the beginning, I'm happy. We may have begun today, but the truth of the matter is, people have been going out. This man called Omosa has been asking for money. I'm going for this exhibition. And they go out and you realize there's something. You see this terrible friend of mine. This good friend of mine called Teresa from the School of Information Sciences. They have been doing hackathons and going to places, including last year, I think, last year 2024, when she even went all the way to the place which they are bombarding right now, was it Baghdad or Kuwait? She went to Kuwait City in Kuwait and came back with a gold medal because of the innovation, among other things. So we have every reason to be proud that in 13 years, we are doing things. We have just begun. This year it may be small, but next year it will be bigger and bigger and bigger. We want to say thank you most sincerely for this. And you see, when you stand here and the DVC has told you, as the minister is like saying that, you see, we don't read their speech, you'll not have said anything. So let me find out what they wrote here. So distinguished guests, partners, members of the University Senate, colleagues, students, innovators, the innovation ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this historic occasion. It's historic. I hope somebody who is going to do the history of Kisii is going to say the first innovation and commercialization week was on the 7th of April 2026. During this week, whose theme is co-creating a sustainable future through interdisciplinary research, green innovation, and community impact. The theme is co-creating a sustainable future through interdisciplinary research, green innovation, and community impact. It's a milestone in our journey as an institution. It marks a turning point where we move beyond traditional teaching and research to embrace a future of innovation, collaboration, and societal impact, definitely through commercialization. For many years, Kisii University has proudly fulfilled its core mandate in teaching and research. We have nurtured graduates, expanded knowledge, and contributed meaningfully to society. But the world around us is now changing. And with the changes, there are changes in expectations also. It's no longer enough to generate knowledge. We must also apply it, translate it, and ensure it makes a tangible difference in people's lives. That's why we are committed to evolving from a traditional university into a dynamic, innovation-driven institution over the next 3 to 5 years. I hope by the end of our strategic plan in 2029, we should be there. And particularly because I can see members of the strategic planning committee, including Ogutu here, this business should be realized. Over the past year, we have deliberately laid the foundation for this transformation by strengthening our innovation ecosystem, investing in our people, and expanding our engagement with the national and the global innovation networks. Let me briefly share with you some of the progresses that we've made. Number one is in capacity building. Over 30 staff members, including those in the university management, have undergone training in grant writing, research, science, technology and innovation, and intellectual property management. The trainings will definitely enable us to turn ideas into impactful solutions. Number two is institutional commercialization. Kisii University enrolled in Kenya. Kenya is Kenya National Innovation Agency. So the university enrolled in Kenya's cohort 3 on commercialization support program. And when we enrolled, we did a self-evaluation. And the entrepreneurial institutional maturity framework supported by Kenya and Kabarak University. And we are strengthening our innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem and shaping our institutional commercialization master plan. When we did the self-evaluation, we realized that we are not at zero. We are somewhere. Remember, the focus was teaching, research, publishing, and that is it. But in the course of doing that, we were doing some things. That's why when we did the evaluation, somehow we realized there were some things that we were doing. Was that inadvertently, Professor Aberi, was that inadvertently or contemporaneously? Number 3 is student innovation. Recently, the university held a career fair and an innovation competition here at Kisii University. 17 student-led innovations were showcased, 17, with 3 outstanding teams that came out. Three outstanding teams did come out seriously as having done some innovation. The quality and relevance of the ideas demonstrate the creativity and the determination of our students. You know, we are dealing with this student population. DVC, how many are we? Registrar, are we 24,000? Huh? We are 28. And 24,000 active students. And a majority of these students are undergraduate. But you can get this. What if we were like the University of Ibadan? Professor Nyatuka, it's not Ibadan, it's Ibadan. Namande, what if we were like Ibadan, which is 51% postgraduate and 49% undergraduate? Momanyi, what will we be talking about? Because right now we are 99.9% what? Undergraduate. And we have 17 what? Innovations. Number 4 is national engagement. Kisii University has become more visible in the innovation landscape by participating in research festivals, innovation summits, and the regional collaborations. And that's what I say, that we have excelled in doing that in the past. These platforms allow us to learn, share, and position Kisii University as a growing contributor to the innovation ecosystem. Number 5 of the things that we are showcasing about our contribution and progress is on intellectual property, IP. IP. We have recently appointed a coordinator in charge of intellectual property management in the research office to ensure that our innovations are protected First, they are identified, they are protected, then they are managed with a view to coming up with patents. Because you can be doing something that is so innovative, and if you, that innovation, that innovative idea is not protected, when it's an intellectual property, then you work on it and eventually have a patent, then you are not going anywhere. It will be stolen. I come from a university where they did things. When one Gutua was a student, he was a student in that school of mine where we do some innovation, but people think that those of us in arts don't do any innovation. Yeah. But that innovation was done in the School of Engineering in the name of something. And that student did not wait. Because when he was given something like 10 million, so we hear, he thought he had arrived. And he disappeared. And the people who disappeared with him are making a lot of money. Because every day, I'm a suffering man, I don't receive money because every day people ask for money from me. But some of you receive money. That thing was innovated in a university, if you didn't know. I don't want to say what it is, but by now you should have known what I'm talking about. It was an innovative idea in a university. And that's what we want to do. That coordinator, as we work on, members of management know, is that we are working on what we call schemes of service and the staff establishment. We'll eventually have what we call technology transfer office. After you do your research, you move now to the technology transfer. Some things come up, and eventually you may start a company. In the last quarter, 13 innovations were registered with the Kenya Copyright Board, KECOBO. Kenya Copyright Board, or KECOBO. And these innovations covered agriculture. Did I see the Dean of Agriculture here? Oh, yeah. I'm doing roll call. The Dean of Agriculture is there. The innovations were covering water management, cyber security. I've not seen the Dean School of Information Sciences here. Okay. Healthcare, mental health. Did I see Moracha here? Finance, animal care, and online safety. We'll have the privilege of hosting the CEO, Kenya Copyright Board. That will be Friday or Thursday? Friday. So be here. Even Kenya will be here tomorrow, giving us a keynote address. Please turn out in large numbers. Kuna pesa huko. I know people only want to hear about money, particularly now that we are not doing well this month. Colleagues, I know that some people are not here because we are not doing very well, but we'll be doing very well. You'll understand why we are where we are. Number 6 is student-led initiatives. Initiatives like Club Innovate. There's a Club Innovate, Dean of Students. Create spaces for students to explore research and innovation actively. Our students have excelled in national hackathons and innovation challenges, showcasing their talent beyond university walls. Ladies and gentlemen, all these efforts converge in what we are celebrating today, our very first Innovation Week. Over the next 4 days, you'll experience the creativity, determination, and collaboration that define Kisii University. You will meet innovators, engage with ideas, with new ideas, and initiate conversations that can lead to meaningful partnerships. This journey is not one we can take alone. We invite our partners, industry leaders, government agencies, and stakeholders to work with us as we build a strong and a sustainable innovation ecosystem. To our staff and students, let's keep pushing boundaries, collaborate, partner, and remain bold in our thinking. The future of Kisii University will not be defined only by what we teach, but by what we create and the impact that creation has on society. That is what will create the university. Mambo mengine yote ni ngosho ngosho tu. Mnaelewa hicho Kiswahili? Mbete. Mambo mengine yote ni ngosho ngosho tu. What is crucial is, what is it that we are doing? Even as Utua goes to class, whose knowledge is he teaching? Have we generated part of that knowledge? And if we think we are in the arts, humanities and social sciences, if I think that I cannot come up with some theory on language conflict, is it possible for me to come up with some idea, some intellectual property, which Dr. Nyakweba from Kekobo, George Nyakweba, is there something that the Kenya Copyright Board can do what? Register as a copyright in my name? Or I just deal with a method of identifying the dominant language where we are dealing with what? Is it still, you still call it mixed codes? And we leave it at that? That's what we need. When this man is talking about, this man called Professor Wanyama is talking about how to meet the gender parity in the Constitution and comes up with an idea on how to do it, then are we just leaving it? Or when Professor Vaswet comes up with a way of getting now new beans, because he's an agronomist, we just leave it. That's what will define us. It's not 28,000 students and then 24 what? Active. So what? When you people read, I hope people read here, and particularly even the students, you realize that there were these students. When Malinovisky was wherever he was, how you call him Malinovisky, because remember that is a Russian German name. Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta, that's Kenyatta 1, followed him from England all the way to Russia because he had to learn under what? Malinovisky on what? On anthropology. That is what we should do. Edward, are we going to do things that are innovative that people say, I want to go to Kisii University because there is some innovation coming out. And out of that innovation, there is a possibility I'll do what? I'll create employment for myself. That's why we have this. And I've said, this year we have started small. I hope next year we'll have it bigger than this. This is the first one. So that we have even 100 sponsors here, 1,000 innovations. We take the whole stadium, you call this a stadium or a sports field of ours, and all the roads are here, and we have exhibitions going on here, and we have people coming around to see what is coming out of our institution. That's where we are headed. I can see the final remark here is I'm supposed to say something which I'm not very sure is me who is supposed to say it. Yeah, then I say it, that it's now my honor to officially declare the Inaugural Research and Innovation Week 2026 at Kisii University officially open. But as I go to sit, we are going to get our first. Who is supposed to do it? I do it then. And I'm glad the chair of council is not here because he'll say men are just the men who are on. Chair of council is not here because he'll say men are just the men who are only talking here. Only talking here. Professor James Njiru is a graduate of a university that produces people. Those of us who went to school, those days, I'm not saying the rest of us didn't go to school, but we used to learn about those things even when we have never been there. Ogutu, Professor Njiru went to the University of British Columbia. So where is British Columbia? I want to know whether people know where British Columbia is. And not Professor Wanyama, not all these people. I want somebody who went through the 844 system here to answer the question. Not you. I'm not going to look for you. You say, do you know where British Columbia is? It's in Britain. Which county of Britain? British Columbia is in Canada, or Canada. Canada. It's in Canada. Which province? Which city do you know in British Columbia? Professor Njiru, these people don't know. They have even never heard of Vancouver. He studied in Vancouver, in British Columbia, UBC. Came, worked in the country, and went back to Moi University, this time Chepkoilel. That's where his school had moved to. Chepkoilel is the University of Eldoret right now, but he got his PhD from Moi University. For many years, he worked for Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Institute. The headquarters is in Mombasa, but he also works from Kisumu. So anywhere where there is marine life, aquatic life, he was there. And you know, Professor Njiru worked here in the School of Agriculture and Natural Resources, the Department of Environmental Science and Fisheries. He worked here. And for those of you who don't know it, this is the first person, this is the first one, all of you, to be appointed professor of Kisii University. Between the two of you, who is the first one? Yeah. Hebu mpigie makofi. I'm doing some business elsewhere. The whole of this country has less than 500 professors. The whole of the country. So we know the numbers. 400. I know you like calling them full professors. They are called professors. You become an associate, you associate with the professors, then you become a professor. So 400 is one of them, the first professor for Kisii University. While working here, he taught and supervised so many people. He also was the director of postgraduate studies. That's when he went to Kemfrey. Then a while ago, about 8 months ago, Professor Njiru was appointed to a very serious organization which was dead, but it now has life. It was started in 2000. Yeah, Professor Nathan. ICAD was dead. African Institute of Capacity Development was dead. Well, it was not dead, it was moribund. It was somewhere there. But he has revived it and it has life. Now huyu ni wetu. Now huyu ni? Yeah. Institute of Capacity Development. The headquarters are within Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. It's an East African body. The original East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Kisii University is a member. And yours faithfully is the chair of the technical committee. We are there, and yours faithfully is what? Is the chair of technical committee. So all matters development, research and the like, when we hear and tell people, please apply for some of those things, apply. Not that he will give you, but apply. So you now know something is happening there. So we are glad to have Professor Njiru with us today, speaking to us. And I now invite Professor Njiru to come and talk to us. A round of applause and keep on encouraging him until he arrives here. until he arrives here. I can see some comrades who are not clapping. So Dean of Students, don't approve their don't approve their mix. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this guy was just a year ahead of me, a year or two.
Good morning. Thank you very much, VC, for the nice accolades. I will need to see my projection, Edgar. But probably before, I think you have been told who I am. And I'm very happy to be with you here today. I don't want to repeat what the VC has just said. But I want to count myself very lucky today being the first speaker on the 7th day of the year, April 2026. For those who know the Bible, I don't usually go to church very many times, but at least I know a bit of the Bible. 7th is a very biblical day. Okay? I can see my dean. My dean is smiling. 7th is defined as it's all completeness. And remember, Jesus said, when somebody wrongs you, what do? You forgive him 70 times. We were created which day? The 6th day. And then God rested which day? 7th day. There were 7 churches in the Bible. There were 7 seals. There were 7 trumpets in the Bible. And there was the 7th Innovation Week at Kisii. Clap for yourselves. And as the VC has said, I'm still waiting for Edgar to, I'm buying time. Project, okay. When this VC talked about mambo yote ni gosho, you know, me, I come from Mount Kenya, and Mount Kenya gosho is kigosho. So I don't know if there's anybody from Mount Kenya here. I thought you were talking about kigosho. Kigosho is a tradition, singing of especially the faithful, the ones who are saved. I don't know, saved. We call themselves saved. Okay, let me go to my business today. I was given a very long title by the team. I hope I do my level best. The title is about linking academia. BC, can I get a bottle of water? Okay. Linking academia, industry, communities, through research, innovation, knowledge. If I was the director of postgraduate, which I was here for some time, I will tell that student to DVC to redo the title. Although, of course, I can see so many key ones, but that's not the. I need to know, or you'll be Edgar. Let's go to the next slide. So I'll do a little bit of as an academia introduction. What is academia? Okay, that's the definition. It includes universities, college, research institutions, and of course, your main role as academia is to generate knowledge through teaching and research. The next slide, please. And what is the main role of academia? And I think the VC has talked about it here. Of course, I repeat again, issues of research, educating and training all these young people and providers, and of course, coming with new ideas, theories, and technologies. And the VC has talked about technology and forming an office of technology later on. So at the end of the day, what you do as academia, you create knowledge and you create new ideas. And I'm very happy to hear that in the last 1 year, I think last year, we have almost 13 innovations which have been registered or which are in the process of being registered. And that is very good. Next slide, please. So, and now, who is industry? Industry include business, companies, and entrepreneurs. So business, you can see KCB is there. You can see whatever taxes, of course, it went bankrupt. And what is the role of, we're coming back to that again, they normally produce goods and services. They apply the knowledge which you have given them as academia in a more practical ways. Next slide, please. So what is the role of the industry? As I've said, the role of the industry is to turn research into products and services. So once you do an innovation, and the way the visitor said, I hope it was not Safaricom when he was talking about here. So there are some innovations you do and you think they are not important. And you go to a site, an innovation site, and somebody buys you with 10,000 Kenya shillings or $10,000, and they convert these into a product. So be very careful with your innovation. So they will scale up the solutions to reach a larger population. And normally in government, we are guided by what we call corporate social responsibility, CSR. For those who do not understand CSR, any government, including Kisii, is supposed to render some service to the community. So at the end of the day, the industry normally applies knowledge to create the real one solution. So the industry is to create solutions on what has been sort of come from academia. Go to the next slide. So who are the communities? Are you part of the communities? Yes. So communities are usually a group of people. They include the local communities, civil societies, of course, students and grassroots organizations. And you are part of the community. So what is community in this, the whole LX? Communities are normally usually affected by social and economic and environmental issues. And of course, you all know this. Whatever happens in the academia at the end of the day, it will affect you. So what do communities contribute? That is you. Normally, communities have the local knowledge and indigenous, what we call indigenous knowledge, and they are the ones who are experiencing the real life challenges and needs at the community level. And they are the ones who normally give the feedback to your experiment, to your innovation, and if it works or it does not work. So what does the community do? Communities provide the needs and the lived experiences. So communities are very critical at the end of the day. So we are talking about three things: research, academia, and industry, and then communities. We are all doing this because of the communities. But what is research? And the VC talked about it. I used to teach a course known as Fundamentals of Research when I was here and other universities. And research is a systematic process of generating new knowledge. At the end of the day, all these professors who are here, doctors, they'll teach you, you'll come out with new knowledge. And it's usually either in two ways, in basic or theoretical, or the other one could be applied, which is solving problems. None of them is bad, but we'll come to later on to see why probably we should be going to the second one, which is more problem solving. So for research in general terms is creating new knowledge, as we can see. The VC has talked about innovation. So what is innovation? Is it different from knowledge? Innovation is where now ideas are improved or improve into products. You can see there, like the issue of the Safaricom. Somebody came up with a app, and this app was developed into an innovation. Or somebody came with the M-Pesa. I hope you're not talking about the M-Pesa. Yeah. So, and somebody came with that innovation, and I think he was a student like you. And now M-Pesa grabs in millions, if not billions, every day. So innovation is using the knowledge to create solutions. Next. Now, we have talked about three critical things: academia, students. The other one is what? What have we talked about? I've been taught to be, prof I've been taught in pedagogy. As we are not taught a lot in pedagogy. Pedagogy is the skills of teaching, and I can see half of you are students. So knowledge transfer includes whereby you transfer your skills, ideas, technology, and expertise between the three things I've talked about. What have I talked about? Which one? I don't know your name. But, yeah? Which one? Academia, industry, and community. I want you to be a bit alive. No, I know it's almost going to 12 o'clock. And I know some of us are thinking about lunch as we eat lunch at 2 p.m. I'll go to the next one. So, Edgar? Okay. So the knowledge transfer includes, of course, technology transfer. And we have talked about like the M-Pesa issue. And here there are about 13 innovations. All these need to be transferred. Training and education and partnership. So at the end of the day, knowledge transfer is moving this knowledge into action. At the end of the day, what you have innovated, you need to move it into action. And be very careful as the VC has said, so that nobody steals your innovation. The last of the key ones in the thesis, DVC academic, was sustainable futures. And when I looked at the word sustainable futures, I thought probably futures is supposed to be written in one, but it's in future, but it is futures. I went to the internet and looked for the one if it is future or futures, and it is true, it is futures. So at the end of the day, it's long term. When we were born, some of us have lived for many years. I know you can see us standing here. Bogi, tumekuwa hapa miaka mingi. We were told you'll be the future leaders, or some of us became leaders. But no, now you are the future leaders. But by the time you come to be future leaders, there might be no world at all. If the way we are working as researchers, as industries, as communities continues. So the idea of sustainable futures is a future whereby you, the young people in the room, your children will be able to find a future. And UN, that is the United Nations, I think somewhere in 2015 or 2016, came out with 17 SDGs. Yeah? Sustainable Development Goals. Some of them are there. They are not very clear, but the last one is partnership. The first one is about anger. The other one is about food and the rest. Mine is number 14. It's not very clear. It's about life under the water. They said in UN that for us to survive in this world, we need these 17 things for the future. So when you talk about future here, you have to balance environment and what you are doing. VC, allow me to ask, I've been taught, allow me to ask, can you just stand up for a minute, please? I'm seeing the class is, they are sleeping. Those who have done SIYB training, they know that every class you start with a topic, and then you start with the energizer. I know Professor Boasoti knows this. So I want us to do a small energizer. I don't know. Anybody with any? I can see. I have my class. Sorry? You have? Kamodo. Where is Kamodo? Kamodo, I can't see Kamodo. Where is Kamodo? Has disappeared. I think he thought about sleeping, then he disappeared. There was Teresa, please. This is adult class, please. I'm seeing half of you asleep. You come in front. We want to have a lively class as we conclude. No, don't worry, VC. In SYB, we have to make the adult people learn.
Let us do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So you do like this. I do the experiment. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
Okay, let's go on. Okay, go on.
We can do it twice or 3 times. We sit. So head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Thank you.
No, don't sit. One more, you can sit down, it's okay.
Thank you.
I want us to be fishers of men. I will make you fishers of. Now I want where there is F, the ladies will sit down. Where there is M, the men will sit down. Let's see who is going to make it. I'll sing. So where is F, women, ladies sit down. Where there is M, men sit down. I will make you fishers of men, fishers of men, fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men if you follow me. Thank you. Thank you. Clap for yourself. At least now I have a quarter of the class back. Edgar, let's proceed. I told people you have to keep on working them. So we go back a little bit. So we were talking about at the end of the day, we have a future as you. Our future, some of us, is almost coming to an end. You know, we have been in the government for many years. Now we want to leave the mantle to you. So balancing between environment protection, social well-being, and economic growth. Of course, I've talked about the SDGs and sustainable future. And you can see the heart. The heart there, I don't know, there's no pointer. You know, somebody's holding the heart with the cities, with the greens, and the rest. So if you don't take care about these, your children and your children might be having no future. So as we move on from now, we know that at the end of the day, academia, industry, and what? A bogey. And okay, let's proceed. Okay, now, the three critical things I was supposed to talk about is academia, which I belong to because I'm a lecturer of this university. Industry, I don't belong to the industry. Communities, it is us and you, it's me and you. Then, of course, we have research, innovation, and knowledge transfer, which are cut across. Because even communities themselves also produce knowledge, as we saw. Because you don't go to the community because you're a lecturer or you're a student of masters and you think they know nothing. That would be very wrong because I worked in Lake Victoria for many years, more than 20 years, probably. And traditional knowledge about the fishery of Lake Victoria was very critical. And we depended so much on the fishermen to tell us when they would close the season and why they would close it. So you cannot come with your PhD and tell them, you know, yeah, I know this. They know better than you. And many other areas. If you go to the cattle areas, you go to the Maasai, I'm saying because DVC financiers came from Masai Mara and, you know, he knows the migration of the older beast. The Maasai used to know this earlier even before we came to know about these books. Let's go to the next one. Now, one of the bigger problem we have, what are those three things, students? What do we call them? Huh? What do we call them? Those big. Anybody an idea? Silos, silos, where you store your maize. One of the silos, does it have any access to the other one? Is it able to communicate to the other one? Huh? It is on its own. So we have academia on their own, we have the industry on their own, then we have the communities on their own. That has been the problem in our country. Not only in Kenya, the academia, the industry, and the communities, all of them are doing their own. But at the end of the day, the main person who suffers is the community. Because we have been silos, we call them silos. Let's go on, the next one. You have heard about the ivory towers. Academia are ivory towers. Student, what do you mean by ivory towers? Anybody with an idea? Huh? If you see a student, they are not talking. Point somebody. Yes, yeah, the one, yeah. The one who was about to yawn. What are ivory towers? Or the next one. What is an ivory tower? When you say academia is an ivory tower. Anybody? Yes? Ivory tower. Have you seen ivory? The tusks. So what is ivory tower? Just go to the slide again. It means we are on our own. We are doing things, you know. Okay, it's not very clear there, but you can see the academia on top. Okay, the community are down there. The academia is doing their own things. The lecturers are teaching, very good teaching here, very good innovation, but the end of the day does not reach the community. Is it of any value? Students? Wow, I don't know. So, academia produces research that may never leave the journals. And you know, you'll be told by the dean, for promotion you need what? Professor Gitange, you need what? You need to publish, or perish. Huh? I'm coming to that. Industries, they innovate sometimes. The innovation they do is not relevant to what the community require. So the communities are still left with the problems they have ever had. Despite all these, VC has talked about 400 PhDs, so not PhDs, 400 professors, we have not been able to solve some of the problems. So what does sustainable future have for us? This was my topic. I'm not that I've come to the end. First, it demands that we bridge this gap. All of us, the academia, the industry, and the community, work in sync. And it is there. Just one more tap so that you get the title, yes. So the role of the academia, that is you, of course, is to generate knowledge and address complex global issues. Knowledge alone is not enough. You can have as many PhDs as possible. You can have as many professors as possible. But at the end of the day, our community is still suffering. So what is required from my perspective is that we need to engage what we call applied research. You respond to the real problems of the society. Collaborate with the industry to translate theory into practice, and partner with the communities to co-create solutions. I thought the VC talked about, today your theme is about co-creation. So communities will be very critical here. And you can see the arrows showing you at the far end and the industries at the far end, the other side. Go on to the next slide. So the role of industry, again here, which is about innovation, is to transform the ideas into products. Again, I talked about this. So what are they supposed to do? One, they're supposed to partner very closely with the academia, that is you. They're also supposed to embrace changes. They're also supposed to listen to communities. You cannot innovate. You know, somebody innovated in this bottle, but assume this bottle is always slippery. You know, will it be of any use to you? Or if this bottle was very big, will it be comfortable with you? So before you innovate your bottle, you need to do what? Student, to liaise with the user. Okay, go to the next one. Communities, that is you and me, they are not passive. They don't sit down. Wale mama unaona kule kijijini, those, I hope there's nobody, everybody understands Kiswahili. You know, these days I work in the East African community, and I have to be careful, because most of the people in Uganda don't speak Swahili. So communities, they don't just sit down. No? They co-create knowledge, and we have talked about it. They have got the local knowledge. When you go for research, and some of you will be going for your masters, do not ignore that old woman. You know, she's dirty, she doesn't seem to know anything. She has a lot of knowledge which can help. And so without community involvement, even the most advanced innovation will fail. If you do not co-create a problem to help them, so what is that problem for, solution for? So you have to liaise with them. Next. So there needs to be a bridge. The bridge between the universities, the bridge between academia, the bridge between industry and the bridge between communities. That was my role today. So it includes all that, technology transfer, community outreach, and I'll be coming to ICANN as I conclude how we bridge the gap. Training, capacity building, that is our strength, and that's why the VC brought us here today to see how ICAD was formed to bridge the gap between academia, the community, and the industry. Go on to the next one. It is not very clear, but it's clear. Now, there is what we call the triple helix. The universities on top, the industry on the other side, and the government or the community on the other side. So that's the key thing, the three of us. And if they do not work, then one does not work well, then the rest cannot work. At the end of the day, we will not solve any problems. Next. Now, I want to conclude. So those who are about to sleep, I'm about to head. So just wake up for 1 second as I conclude. I think the place is a bit warm. You know, as a teacher, I can see you from here. I can see everybody. I can see half of you. So, ICANN, as the VC said, is African Institute for Capacity Development. What is our role in knowledge transfer? Go to the next. We are based in Jinja, but we have an office. Go to the next slide. I'll tell you history, just one slide. Go to the next. So our history of ICANN, we were started in 2000 with the funding from Japan, JICA, that is Japan International Cooperation Agency. We are intergovernmental organization, intergovernmental between governments, 3 governments, governments of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Our head office is in Nairobi, is in Junja, but we have a country office in Egerton, Sokoine University, and Makerere University in Uganda. So that's, but our headquarters is based. And our main goal is to develop capacity in terms of abundance of resources. Africa has got very many resources, but at the end of the day, we are the most poor. We are the poorest continent in Africa. The visit talked about starting of university. The oldest university actually was from is it West Africa, you know? But when the white man came, he told us our education is stupid. Sorry for using that one. And we buried our education and we forgot about it. Okay, let's go to the next one. So what we do, our focus, the other cannot be seen. We are mostly in environment, communities, and also data. I don't want to read all those. I can see most of you are not with me. Go to the next slide so that I can explain. We are in 3 countries of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. The one, men are usually colorblind. I don't know which color is that VC, where Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania is. I don't want to shame myself. Is that? It's Safaricom green. Dean. Dean says luminous green. Student? Yellow. Somebody is saying it's yellow. And somebody else will say pink. So we are mostly based in the area with the green. And we have many projects there. But we are also spread across Africa. And our people who established ICAD wanted, that's why it's called African. It's not called Africa. It's African. It is supposed to be based in Nairobi, but spread all the countries of Africa. That was the aim. But we are only in 3 African countries right now. So let's go to the next one. Our partner, although they are small, our partner institutions are universities and other institutions. In Kenya, can you see your university there? Can you clap for yourselves? Thank you very much. I want to thank the VC for becoming one of our members. We are about 13 in Kenya. Tanzania, we have about 7. Uganda, another 8 or 7. Tanzania is 8. Of course, we collaborate with others. They are not being seen there. Kebra, UN, and many more. So ICAD was established in such a way that it gets the knowledge and the innovation from the universities to the communities. So you can see the link. Knowledge from the universities, to HiCAD, or from industries to HiCAD to the communities. So when the three governments of Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania sat down, they decided to create an institution which is a bridge between the academia, the industry, and the communities. So that is the role of ICAD. So I'm in the right place in terms of capacity development and in terms of co-creation today. Go to the next. So in terms of governance, I'm not going to the details. We are governed by I'll show them, probably go down there. We are governed by PSs from the 3 East African countries. Then below there, we have the VCs. So that's where your VC now comes in with other VCs. They are the ones who guide the institute on how to perform or the next programs. And your VC is the most critical in terms of the programs now. Just go down. I'll come to that later on. Edgar, let's proceed. So, this is a meeting of VCs and and the governing body chaired by the PS, Uganda Education. We are in the midst of education like you. So normally the VCs are the ones who form the strategic direction of the institute. Of course, there is also networking. And of course, policy recommendations of the institute is done by the VCs together with the governing body. And of course, they elect a new office bearer. Probably you can see somebody whom you know at the corner there. We were having a meeting last week with your VC in Arusha on some of the issues on terms of how to move on the institute ahead. Go to the next one. So that's the technical committee I was talking about. I will not go to the details. It consists of the VCs from the partner institutions, because this is where knowledge comes from. Knowledge comes from the institutions like universities and industries. And at the end of the day, the oversight and guidance of the activities of ICAD. Usually the tenure is about 2 years. Currently, the chair of the technical committee of ICAD is a VC, Kisii University. And you can see him somewhere seated next to me. 1, 2, 3 at the middle. Okay, let's move on. So, again, it's just a little bit of emphasis. The academia, that is the VCs. There we have the VC, sorry. On your right is the VC, Jomo Kenyatta. In the middle is the VC, Maseno. And the other one, the VC, Busitema University in Uganda. So they come and sit down and agree on a way forward for the ICAD. Because you are the co-creators of knowledge, at the end of the day, we are supposed now to take it to the local person. Go to the next one. So the membership of ICAD, the way it was established as per the charter, it can include all those. So universities, sovereign countries, we can have all the countries in Africa. Universities, regional organization, intergovernmental organization, even individuals. So Professor Mbasweti, if you want to become a member of ICAD as an individual, you are most welcome. You just write a letter and I take it to the board. Okay, thank you. I'm saying, there are some individuals, let's say like, some individuals who are very DVC, like Gates, okay? What do you call it? Melinda and whatever, Bill Gates or somebody else might want to come and assist this institute, so we welcome them at the end of the day. On any other organ, the institute might specify. So our membership is quite open. And I think the framers of the constitution of ICAD saw this, because at the end of the day, they want to talk to as many people as possible. Move on, let's go on. Okay, that's the group photo of the members, just the PSCs, some of the PSCs are there. Go to the next one. I want to show you. Okay, now, in terms of community, you talked about academia, industry, and the community. About a month ago, I signed a contract with KQ. You know, what is KQ? By the way, what is KQ? Huh? Kenya Airways. They are looking for a solution in AI. I guess you know what is AI, artificial intelligence. When you cancel a ticket, just go back. When you cancel a ticket for those who travel, you want to go to Zambia, You want to cancel a ticket, I know your VC has traveled. What they normally do, they have to do it manually to relocate you. But now they have come to us as industry to give them a solution with an AI software so that if you cancel your ticket, it is able to relocate you to the next flight and is able to give you a seat in the next flight and able to give you a ticket. So ICAD working in the industry to solve problems of the communities. Is there any relationship with my topic today? For sustainable use. So that's the current CEO of Scott Kamal. Go to the next one. The pupils you left here, your brothers and small sisters. We know we're talking about sustainable future. You know, we partner with them in time to tell them about the environment. Of course, the critical thing about the environment mostly is for them, they understand a tree, planting a tree for the future of this world, for sustaining the environment. So we partner with students, we partner with the pupils in terms of planting trees. And they understand as they move on that this world is their world. Go on. We also partner with groups of sustainable futures from America, from all over the world, who come around ICAD. I was giving them a gift there. And again, we want to talk to other people, not only in Kenya, but also from the rest of the world. Go on. I know VC, you have also started Start and Improve Your Business. I know Professor Basweti is in that. We have also, now that you are a member of my technical committee, we are now a certified institution, ILO, that is International Labor Organization, certified institution in terms of student, okay, not so only student, entrepreneurship. You know, most of you 4 years. Is there any 4 year? Is there any 4 year in the room? Let me see your hands up. Yeah, so probably I want to partner with your VC. I'm not pushing for you, but you know, I'm saying, you know, at the end of 4th year, normally the future is a bit blink. Sorry for using that word. You don't know what you're going to do. Is that not right? It's not, you know, like now we are partnering with JKUAT because JKUAT are just next door. Okay? You don't know what's going to do, to happen after you get your degree, then what? Jobs are not there. I'm an employer, but I can tell you, I have no vacancy. The VC, through the DVC here, will tell you the applications they get here every other day are thousands, but there are no jobs. We want your future to think about creating your own future yourself, having ideas. And one way is doing this course of start with generate. We start with generate your business idea. We start with GPI. Yeah? Then you go to start and improve your business. Then you go to improve your business, you go to expert. So again, I'm sure now as the VC with being in our board, some of the things we can talk about moving forward as an institution, even here. And I know some of you are already trained, like Professor here is trained, is a trade SIB trainer. Go on to the next one. So as I conclude, I want to show you what we have, a couple of things we have done in the 3 countries. I'm about to finish, for those who want to. So this is in Uganda. Uganda, we transfer, actually this is Kenya. I'll start with Kenya alone, this is my country. Although I'm not supposed to say that in front of others. I'm Kenyan, but I'm supposed to be South Africa when I talk. But Chesakwa Otunzwa. And because there's nobody from Kenya, from Uganda, of course I love my country better than the others. So Kilifi, we are working with women here. I know. And why women? Sometimes we emphasize when women, not that we hate men, but you know, in the society, women are more vulnerable than men. You know, not many women own land, right? So it's clearly, you know, not many women have access to many things. But at the end of the day, the responsibility of a family lies with who? Lies with the woman. Mzee ameenda kunywa mnazi, ameenda kunywa pombe, but at the end of the day, anakunya nyumbani, he wants food. He doesn't care where the money comes from. So we target mostly women, community, and youth. Okay? Go on to the next one. Okay, this is Go Marakwet. Again, transferring knowledge to women on planting, on agricultural issues. The next one. Here, again, is the same issue, working together to change theory to practice. Here we were in Masinde Muliro, with Masinde Muliro University, a Laureate Polytechnic, women, known as Women Peace Link, and E10 County, that is again in Elgo Marakwet, working with women in terms of the milk. Milk is very important in that county, and they need to know how to preserve the milk, what product the milk can get from them, and others. Again, our target was women mostly. Yeah, let's go on. AI. Africa Institute for Capacity Development is the East African node for artificial intelligence. So we are the node. We can compare the other node, I think, in South Africa, the other one is in West Africa. So we are very important in terms of artificial intelligence. And that's where we are heading. I know these young men here and boys, sorry, not young men and women, the next thing is about artificial intelligence. ICAD will be very important in terms of training you in terms of the products they are giving. Go to the next one. So, like last year, we had a summer conference on artificial intelligence with the youth at ICAD in terms of artificial intelligence. Next one. So this was the summer school, and you are young youth from all over Africa coming to ICAD, being taught about things to do with building autonomous AI systems, those who are in this area. Go on, next one. This is the SYB I'm talking about. So, like we have it now 3 times a year. So, Basweti, you can bring me some of your students. The next course is in May, May this year. We are looking for TOTs. When I talk about, I'm talking about TOTs. When I talk about TOTs, Professor Basweti understands what I'm talking about, and those who have been trained. And it's going to be a permanent course at ICAD every year, 3 times a year. And we want to train youth, not only youth, even you. People want to retire. And I'm not saying you are retirees here. After you retire, what do you do? Most people, when they get their retirement money, they get 5 million, 2 million. What they do normally do? Professor, where I come from, probably you upgrade your status. If you had one, you have to have two. You understand what I mean, eh? That's the first thing you do. Because you have 5 million in your account, eh? And you don't know what to do with this money. You think it's a lot of money, but within a year, that money is gone. But if you get an idea of how to utilize that money, at the end of the day, you might sustainably utilize your money and help also the environment to be sustainable. Okay, the next one. So, Akin, do you know that Kenya has got 14,000 registered NGOs? 14,000 NGOs. So we are having a meeting with them in Kakamega this year, because these are the link of the communities we are talking about. We said ICAD is capacity building. So I had a talk with them in Kakamega, 14,000 registered community. We see how some of this knowledge you're having, some of this innovation, we can be able as ICAD to get this to the communities, to solve their problems. Okay? Next one. This is in Uganda. Again, group of women. I think we are so biased. We are so much to women. Again, teaching them on a few things in terms of empowerment. Go on. Next slide. This is Tanzania. Again, our team in Tanzania showing local communities the innovation which is coming from universities, innovation coming from industry, and how it can be of use to them in their daily lives. Next one. So, I think now I'm about to conclude in terms of what we have done today since I started talking. Now, the pathways to sustainable futures are as follows, and they are listed there. One of them is building partnership. Without partnership, we will not go alone. And that's why you see Kisii University has joined us, and many universities have joined us, and many other. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here today also on two-prong. I'm coming here as also a partner of Kisii University, and also looking for more partners. I have Masai Mara here, I have my Turkana here, and even you as a partner in ICAD. Okay, again, to promote co-creation, involve communities to the word start. If you are having any research and you want it to be of any impact, kindly start with the community. And I can see, I don't know if it's reverend or pastor, you work with the community in church. And if they have a problem and you are a researcher, start with them first. Then invest in innovation ecosystem. I think the VC has talked about this. At the end of the day, innovation, incubation hubs, and I'm sure at the end of the day, Kisii is going to have an incubation hub. If it is not there, I know it's going to have one if it is not there. So again, at the end of the day, we encourage government to enabling environment in terms of funding. Then we measure the impact. The next one. So again, what are the challenges? We have talked since morning or whenever I stood here. Just one is, so there are challenges. At the end of the day, it's not a walk in the park. We have differing priorities. Like now in Kenya, we have, what is the government blueprint? I know you are Gen Zs. I'm not a politician. Don't say I must go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not in politics. But you have a government blueprint. Anybody knows about a government blueprint? The current government? Yes. The better is bottom. Economic transformation, transformative economy, or whatever. So at least So every government has got a model. So if the government must go, I'm not saying they must go, if another one comes, it will come also with its own blueprint. And it might differ slightly. Uhuru 1 and 5, the big 4 agenda, and like that, okay? So we have communication gaps between sectors. You have seen the 3 silos, the academia, the industry, and the community. We don't talk to each other, or we don't talk among each other, or we talk to each other, I don't know which is which. But of course, there's also the issue of limiting FUD. And the visit talked about you coming here, there's somebody who will be talking about where to get funding from for research, because you cannot do research without funds. Then, the next one, power imbalance. At the end of the day, if you address this, it requires an intentional design. We have to have an intentional design. And you have to include leadership, you like it or not. There is no way Kisii University will go far without the leadership of Kisii University. Even if you have got very good ideas, there is no way Kenya will go far without the leadership of the country. There is probably no, we are not going to go far without leadership in your house. Sorry, I know, Prof. There is no way your spouse or your children are going to go far without leadership. So leadership is very key. Next. Okay. Next, just tap one more. So this is what I was talking about as a call to action. What is the call to action? One, we all must be serious about future. When I was at Kenya Marine, plastic was, plastic is a nuisance. Because at the end of the day, this bottle you are going to drink, where are you going to throw it? Where is it going to end up? And then after that, in the river. In the year 2050, we will be having like 900,000 metric tons. I repeat again, 900,000 metric tons of microplastics in water. 900,000 metric tons against 850,000 metric tons of fish. There will be more plastics in the water than fish. So what are we talking about? And what's the problem of plastics? Like students, what is the problem? Is there any problem? Especially microplastics? Eh? What is the problem? At the end of the day, they get into your system. Some of the diseases we are getting today, cancers, I know funny diseases. I know doctor is here, surgeon. He might differ with me a little bit. But some of them are being contributed to what we do in our environment. And I'm not saying that Kisii should not produce water, and there are many people who are producing water. But at the end of the day, how do we dispose our waste? We're talking about the future, sustainable future. You know. So again, let academia be open to its doors. And I want to thank the VC. I mean, he has opened the doors. Like this being the first innovative week. It has never happened. I've been here, I was here since 2014. You know, they opened doors. And I guess next time we'll be having more industry coming in, sharing their experience, and us opening up, and in the process also getting funding. Yes? Let us broaden its purpose. I would want to see next time, and God willing, you invite me, I would want to see communities here. We'd want to see Mama Mboga, Mama Majani, and the rest coming here in the exhibition week, because the innovation you are doing, it's for who at the end of the day? If it's not for that Mama Kwamboka or Mura, I hope there's nobody God like that here, or Kerubo, or something like that. Because the future is for them, we have to, the knowledge we have. But if you are living as silos, you know, most of them will say, mi naonanga Kisii University nikipita, hata sijui wanafanya nini. Naonanga tu VC akiingia hapo, naona wanafunzi wakiingia na lecturers, I don't even know what they do. And these are the communities who are surrounding you here. They have a problem in agriculture. I'm sorry, I'm from agriculture and environment, but they have a problem next door, and we have never solved it. Remember what I talked about CSR, corporate social responsibility. Where I come from, we normally say, fertility is from where you come, you know. Okay. I wanted to say it in my mother tongue, but I know you don't understand. Normally where you come from, the nearest plant normally gets, what do you call it, baswet. It's one benefit most. Yeah? So we want to see us moving on. Dean, agriculture is my dean, that the people from here know what we do. So, okay, the next, I think is there another slide? Edgar? I must be asleep. So, this is the conclusion. I'm sorry, I'm taking too long. Now, we are talking about linking academia, industry, and communities, of course, through research, innovation, and knowledge transfer. It is a very good idea, but it's a necessity. It is a necessity. At the end of the day, the future of this world is not about the VC, it's not about me, it's not about the deans, it's not about the DVCs, it's not about the academia, it is about also you. Because I've given you a case of a bottle. When you throw it down, if you dispose it well, this bottle will be recycled and it will form some other product. But if you throw it in the dustbin and it goes to the river, you know, we're having floods and the rest, at the end of the day, you are not helping the future. I think with those very many ones, I don't know what is the next. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
Prof, I would asking you to still stay here because we're getting to a plenary session after appreciating your good presentation. We have learnt a lot. You're a good teacher. You've kept us awake, alert, and we have learnt a lot. If you give us an exam right now, we're going to pass. And now you have broken down the thesis. It's no longer a thesis. We can actually feel we are the academia, and you made it very simple to make sure that all the information and knowledge that we are generating every other day, and ICAD is ready to take it up, and together with ICAD, deliver this information to solutions in the communities. I really want us to appreciate Prof, even as we move to the plenary session. I'll be asking Dr. Peter Gutwa to come in front, and then I'll request that we all stand so that we can appreciate. Let me teach you something, some new appreciation I saw somewhere. We want to give a standing ovation. This is what we'll do. We begin clapping from behind there. So once the last row stands, you clap like this. You stand up as you clap. That's standing ovation. And then the next to the last. I am glad that the heavy ones are sitting in front, so they'll not stand for long. So you've not heard that. So Dr. Gutwa, please come as we do that. Are we ready? Are we ready? So can we give Professor a standing ovation? We start from behind there. Tuende kazi, tuende kazi, tuende kazi, tuende kazi, tuende kazi, tuende, 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 tuende. Tuende, 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 tuende. Let us increase those claps to you, Rob, for the good job. Thank you very much. Plenary session, please.
Thank you so much for the rich and inspiring keynote that is touching on how we can link academia, industry, and communities through research, innovation, knowledge transfer for sustainable futures. So we have learned a lot from your keynote speech, and I know we are not supposed to engage you so much because most of the things that you have spoken are just direct. But as curious students, scholars, researchers, and people who are engaged with the community, and I know you've been more on practice than in academia, there are a few things that we may want to understand more. And this is the opportunity to give the audience a chance to ask a few questions and also make some comments about your presentation. But before they ask a question, I always want to ask some question to like Professor Njiru. I'm a lecturer. I'm a serious researcher. I'm a supervisor. One thing I've come to notice is we have a lot of challenges when it comes to formulating academic topics that are also intervention. When we are in defenses, we struggle to have that connection between academia and the community. And at the end of the day, we end up maybe guiding students in a way that the thesis that they produce ends up in the shelf, but does not have an impact in the community. So I could like you to actually help us address this particular issue before I open it to the audience. And the audience, I'm going to give them a chance to ask just 3 questions, burning questions, because we don't have time. Okay, that's the first question. Now, I would like to give the audience an opportunity to ask a question. But there is that aspect of gender balancing. Inclusivity is part and parcel of what we do. Maybe from the professors, one chance. That is Professor Nyatuka.
Thank you, Prof, for the wonderful presentation and sensitization. I've seen one of your mandates is academic partnership. I'm wondering if, for example, there is a research or there is a project, and maybe I feel you have the capacity to serve as a partner. could you come in as a partner in research? Thank you.
Okay, the next question can go to Lillian. After Lillian, okay.
Thank you. One of the greatest challenges of knowledge transfer is how organizations manage their knowledge assets. I'm glad you've mentioned something to do with digital data and the African open science community. I'm just interested to know, how is ICAD managing in terms of their knowledge transfer, and if they have a database or a point of reference whereby, for example, if there have been community interventions, somebody will just go at once and get to know that this is happening, such that even if there is replication of people learning from each other, that is handled easily. I'm looking at things like PIDs, DOKIDs, and so on, and what we are basically doing about persistent identifiers and what research and the community is doing. Thank you.
Behind you, that's the student.
My question is, you have not told us how we are joining ICAD, and maybe if you have a website or social media handles.
I'm glad that you have made them very brief. I can add one more. That is from Teresa.
You talked about AI. I can assure you, even the presentation is going to happen today. Out of the 78 exhibitions, 70 or around 40 have AI in it. So the major challenge we find, these students have come with very beautiful ideas. The VC has tried, because nowadays they are being assisted by the university to be patented and protected. But that is not enough. After I protect my innovation, how can I be assisted so that it is known out there to make me, for the innovation to be self-sustaining, not to go and look for a job? Is there a way that these youths, these students can be assisted for the innovation to be known out there? Patenting is good, but it's not enough to make them stand on their own. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. You can come and respond to those questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with the last one from Teresa. Yes, patenting is good, but it's not good enough. About a month ago, we had a whole PI conference, which we invited everybody free of charge. And I don't want to put myself in the shoes of, because we have a whole IP department in Kenya, okay? And probably I'm not the best place to talk about this. I think if you have an innovation, my advice is please contact these people. They are very more than willing to assist you move forward so that you protect your patent, and at the end of the day, you are able to make what is good from that. So let me not, this is not my area, because we have a whole department in Kenya, funded by the government of Kenya. We had a conference last week, a whole day conference, and they took us through the patenting processes. In terms of West, I'm sorry, I don't know, I said the slides, but the slides which came didn't have, we are at ICAD, just icad.or.ke. Just type the one ICAD. And if you see my last slide, Edgar, are you there? Yes. Show us the last slide, the one with thank you. It has the address of ICAD. You can go to a website and get the information on whatever I've given you. The address is there, and okay, you're able to get us. The other question was on knowledge transfer and digital data. Yes, I said we are Africa Open Science Platform, and I think there are 3 or 4 of them. So that is ICAD. You can, I don't know if you can make it bigger. If you look down there, there's ICAD Uganda, There's ICAD Kenya, but it's www.icad@or.ke. But you guys, you are very smart young men, and you just type the word ICAD. I thought that was that your question? Or what was your question? Oh, membership. It was on membership. Okay, membership is like this, a quick one. It can be institutional. Institutional, you normally pay a subscription, like Kisii University join us. It's institutional, it's about $3,000. That is a high for you. But you can also join. It's only that I don't know what happened to my slides again. You can join as what we call a researcher. But that one we request somebody with a master's and above. We call them the adjunct scientist. If you have got a master's or a PhD, and thank you, VC, some of your members are already members, you don't need anything. You just apply. You apply to us. You apply to ED's office, and you write to a CV and say you want to become an adjunct scientist. Again, remember, ICAD consists of the universities. We do not have, by the way, my staff is about 27. We are a secretariat in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. So you saw in the beginning, we had the PSs, then the VCs. So I depend on the VCs for personnel. And the personnel come through what we call the adjuncts. So you apply, then you become a member of the adjunct scientist. And there are benefits. Quick one, we are duty exempted. We don't pay duty for any products we buy through a project. We are like UN. Our number plates are red. If you see our cars, are KX, but they are all in red. It's not like the VC is blue. Blue means parastatal. But KX means International Government Organization. It's a diplomatic mission. We are like UN. Then we don't pay duty on things like fuel and many other things. So if you come in as a project, but it becomes easier for you. Then the other one, Professor Nyantuka on partnership, yes, thank you very much. And actually, if you go to our website today, we have about 180. Yeah, that's WOK. We have 180 adjunct scientists. And the idea, like yesterday, we were doing Horizon project with people from Italy, people from Ghana, and people from other countries. My coming to Kisii, being my university, is to get this. The other one we have tried one with Professor Basweti, with the Belgians. It is still in the process, and many others. So the idea is, yes, we can partner. And when we are partnering, you become more stronger. Kisii University, ICAD, other universities in West Africa, and in Europe. The idea of, and the VC is our chairman, is to bring these groups together. We become stronger. I would want to see you coming up. We will do a project together. It can be in Kisii. You can be the PI. It doesn't have to be ICAD. We can, like the one we are doing now with Horizon, we are not the lead. Italy is the lead. So if you can get one with you in Kisii, you can become the lead, and we move on, and we become stronger that way. The other one was on academic topics. Academic topics. Prof, when I was the director postgraduate here, we have some very cheeky students. They will go to the internet. They are more brighter than us. Yeah? They copy and they paste a topic from South Africa. There's one we got from South Africa. He had copied and pasted exactly the thesis from somebody from South Africa. Exactly the same. What they did, they just changed. I'm not saying they're doing it, but these young, they just changed the topic and put it to Marakwet. And everything was the same. So getting a topic for any research is not a walk in the park. Even professors, they'll tell you. But at the end of the day, with your professors, with your supervisors, with your promoters, you are able to go around. But at the end of the day, we normally ask the student, what do you want to do? Because that research is not the professors doing it, it is you. At the end of the day, it is a student who does the topic. So, but we help you. That's why they are called a promoter or a supervisor. They don't do the research, it is you. But at the end of the day, they guide. And of course, because he's more exposed, Professor Mbasweti, Ketange, Jantuka are more exposed in the area. They're able to guide you. But choosing a topic, I can tell you, is not a walk in the park. We just guide you at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, what we are looking for is impact and outcomes. Impact is immediate. Outcome is takes a longer time. At the end of the day, and we used to tell students here, we used to avoid the one, a case study. I don't know if the director postgraduate, is it here? Is he here? We used to tell students, forget about this issue of case studies. Farming in Nyamira County, a case study of Nyaribari Chache, or something like that. So I don't know if you still do that, but thank you. I think I've answered the three of them. There's another one. That's enough.
Let me add something. Ogola. Mwamba ngoma huvutia kwake. You know that? Or you only know the law. Ingeo the law mat. Mwamba ngoma huvutia kwake. Habari. Kama tunavutia kwetu, isn't it? And we are there. We don't need to talk so much, isn't it? You imetosha. How do we get this IP thing, which Teresa was talking about? If you look at what has been, the way they are prepared this week, I'm happy. How you are going to upscale that innovation and eventually get some startup and commercialize it is that all of you and more be here tomorrow. That is the work of Tony Omwansa. Professor Wanyama has been a student there. I was trained somewhere last week. But Professor Wanyama, Kenya is Kenya Innovation Agency. How do you get that idea moved up from whatever you think you have discovered or you are discovering, and then it moves eventually into what? Into the market. So that you become an entrepreneur and you start selling things. That is the work of who? Dr. Tony Omwansa. Tomorrow's presentation. I think he has also 3 hours to talk and tell you how he's doing these things. Last week, I can see some linguists there. Last week, but I've also seen somebody who says that he does things about the Nyamu Commissar Oliver here. It's called Ogendi. Okay? How do we get this idea which you have here, which you have come up with this terrible good friend of mine here called Teresa, who is your lecturer? How do you move out with it? I know we don't have what they call a technology transfer office yet. Very few universities have it. Tony Omwansa took us to some place last week, and last week. I told you I visited some 2-3 universities, and I thought we are not even a university here yet, but it's okay. VETS was founded in 1896. VETS was founded in 1896. Isn't it? Pretoria was 1850. Can't compare. Okay? Technology transfer office is a big thing. After you finish with the Professor Were, is Professor Were here? You know I'm busy taking roll call, if people didn't know. After you finish with school of postgraduate, you need to move ahead. If you are a graduate student. If you are not a graduate student, you are an undergraduate like this man called here, a terrible man here called Wahungu, the student's president, and you have an innovative idea, and you are working with your friend there, your lecturer, who is too busy. Because if you are dealing with Professor Oigara, he's too busy teaching. That's why we have an office called Research, Extension, Innovation, and Resource Mobilization. That is their work. But I know their work has not been that way. We are now revamping it. I know you guys know Ngacho. Ngacho is not here. Ngacho is a big man. He went to Masinde Muliro. He's a big man there. He's a big man there. He's a BBC. Rose is there. You know that lady here? Stand up. Rose is in charge of that office for the time being. But we have also asked that one there. Ebus Mama. That one is called who? Why are you calling her Lynette? I know she's combo. You know, I don't know. She's combo. Her work from morning to evening is to get these ideas and assist us to link us with the people that he talked about, the fellows who deal with intellectual property. So if you have this idea, because you are too busy in class, ensure that office and that lady there are in whatever. As we move on, because hopefully in the next 1 or 2 years, we'll have a technology transfer office, which will be bigger than a university. That is their work. But at the same time, we may not have gotten everybody. I've told you there is somebody called Nyakweba. Nyakweba is in Kenya Copyright Board. He may not be dealing with the IP directly, but he's also dealing with some IP that is good to some of us. You know, when people like Igara and Omori come up with some innovation, they just want to, even you think so? In physics. You want to go to, who is in charge of the IP? At one time I had vitamin E there. The former Dean School of Law at Moi University was there. Where is the name has just disappeared. He was in charge of the Kenya intellectual property. But that guy who will be here on Friday will also tell you. And I want to tell you, the ideas in terms of innovation are many here. You know, here we assume that kazi yetu ni kusoma tu, you just go and pretend you have been to class and you have 1.5 pages of your answer and Averi gives you 70 out of 85 and you move on. No. There is a lot in terms of ideas and innovation from amongst you. This thing, as we say, this year we started small. Next year we are going where? Very far. So tomorrow, if you want to know some of those things, and especially if you have some idea that you want to move, you may have an idea and you think it's not an idea. Or you are confused somewhere, but you think it's something new. Ensure that you see Tony Omwansa here. He'll come with his team. And as I've told you, even when Nani comes, Nyakweba on Kekobo will be moving. So we have the people we are linking with. Including, you know why I'm taking roll call? See, he has told you I'm now chairing the technical committee. And there are so many ideas that are coming in, including proposals and funds. If you are not here, why do you want us to tell you? You know, the Dean School of Health Sciences last week was telling us that we need to even tell people how they can come to some of these meetings. Dean, there was a call up to last week on 31st from him. And largely it was in biotechnology and water and something medicine. Linking people for masters and some research with where? With some universities in Italy. How do you know those things if you don't attend people's meetings? We attend the meetings. Comrades, I'm not a big man because I was stupid. You know how I was stupid when I was in school? All I wanted was to get a PhD at 29. That was my interest. I never wanted to go to any meetings. You came when I had finished. I never attended so many meetings. Organized by the Dean of Students. Including the ones you organized with Dr. Kama last week. Well, that was what? The one that Dr. Kama did? What was the meeting? What was the theme of the meeting? Entrepreneurship. I never attended. I only attended church on Saturday. And from there, I was just dealing with my books. That's why I've always told comrades here that somebody fired me because she didn't understand why I had a girlfriend and I didn't know why I had that girlfriend. Because I was busy with my books. Please attend these meetings. When the dean has given the comrades that money to organize something like that one of entrepreneurship, attend. When the university has given out some little money and we have sponsors here, And we have a meeting like this, and the ED, executive director, has come all the way from Juja. Attend the meetings. So that if you are unable to ask questions right now, and I know some of you have questions, but before he leaves, just mingle around with him and ask the questions. You learn more, and the opportunities are there. We spent 13 years doing the basics. Without what we did for the last 13 years, we'll not be here. We laid the foundation. That's why we are here. Na tunashukuru wale ambao walituona, Mungu akatuonekania, and we are here. You say so. That's why when you go to ICAD, they have a serious documentation center. One of my relatives somewhere, whom you should know, attended an interview there those days. But they have a serious documentation center, and it will be having what we are talking about. So please, let's attend these meetings. And let's ensure that we don't come here to doze around. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. And our Vice Chancellor for that. So 3 key issues that have been raised here. For us to move to the future, there is need for collaboration, there is a need for innovation, which must be responsible and inclusive. And lastly, knowledge transfer to the engine of impact. Thank you so much for everything.
Let's appreciate Dr. Gutwa for that enriching session. Comrades power. Hashtag attend. Attend? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to request that we step outside there for a photo session. But before we do that, immediately we move from the photo session. We'll be doing a tour of the innovation exhibits. So I know that there are some exhibitors who are in their house. By show of hand, any exhibitors in the house? So we will do the photos first with you, and then you'll get back to your tents, because we are coming over, all of us are coming over to those particular tents to see the innovations. And then we will have a lunch break, and in the afternoon we have the pitching sessions that will be led by Madam Teresa. So that is for today. So tomorrow morning, let's be seated early enough to be able to have some more time to listen to our guest speaker from Kenya, but also to have a plenary session. I love the fact that the young people are keen and asking questions. Mobilize. We have seats up here. Mobilize your colleagues to come and have a session whereby they can network, they can be mentored, they can be shown the way. You must just have somebody to lean on for you to grow. So with that, then I'll be requesting us to step up if the media team is ready. Yes. We are taking our photos from hapo nje. Kwa hivyo tuwaruhusu kwanza wageni wetu wa heshima waende kule nje, and then we can back them up behind, take the photos, and then move to the tents where we can see the exhibitions. Yes. You're ready? Good. Naomba kwamba tutoke hivi, tunachukua picha kule nje. Tuwaruhusu wageni kwanza, kisha hapo nyuma. And as soon as it's done, the exhibitors will be waiting for, will be joining you to visit your tents. And this is where you greet your neighbor. We are not all from Kisii University. I am sure in the house we have KCA University of Turkana University College. We have Nyamira National Polytechnic, the Kisii National Polytechnic. We have Masai Mara in the house. So please shake hand and get to know where they come from. You're all welcome to Kisii University even as we do this. So let's...
Yomvwama eza valeur na mongamba po kungu itongama vivine moleka e bara konga e ala sasa limona
Anani Mixon. Balancez la sauce. Bébé Silla, cabinet Yélé à Bamako. Ah oui, le propriétaire de tous les dossiers. On va tous bloquer. Ah oui, Lolo, ah oui, Lolo, ah oui, Lolo, non, lui.
Je m'appelle Coupé, Coupé, Bibamba.
Non, l'autre. Préparez-vous, car...
Baza
Mochi
Tosenyali komuna pona Afrika Ekeneli boso
Kimia ezala partout Na Union africaine Okana biseza danse Afrika Okana biseza danse TDC
Kumana biso toleli pongi cheba yaya Lokumu ya Kongo ezongi kungili mobimba Pan Afrika bakoni RDC Ekamba bango ezala mono belina
Union africaine Ah, Congo Zonga eloko ya makasi ndenge ozalaka Afrika mobimba eti miso epai na yo
When you detect something, you have like an AI model. It monitors the and when it detects that something is wrong and it's at a certain threshold, it does the purchasing protocol. So that way you can but you have the guide. So that way you can get help fast. And also we also included audio recording feature. If the AI monitoring has an emergency, yes. If the AI monitoring has already detected you're in an emergency. Yes. And how is it? Under those circumstances. That constantly monitors the
anything out of the now we emphasize. For example, when you hear gunshots, when you hear like the sounds of a struggle, for example, a punch or a blow or you screaming, dance, something like that, it shows that there is unrest. And then now we start analyzing this video, the audio to confirm that this actual violence.
When does it start?
Detection of any danger at that particular point. So assuming is in danger.
So now, first of all, you have to enter your details, emergency protocols that you apply, and then now you're all set after that. So this what happens exactly when you're in danger. So when you're in danger, first of all, our sensors, we have sensors here, IoT sensors, that can detect motion, sound, and vibrations in the environment. So as soon as there's activity, we have our model analyzing the audio. So we would like to do a demonstration.
This is the number.
Allow me to do a demonstration.
Must have internet?
No, it's from me.
So you're telling me, there are people in the village.
Yeah,
mobalaki mana ndako ngana bana mwambe moyete mobalaki mana ndako po mabele kweyanga abosanike mabele na melisa bana na ye azalata reconnaissance kweyanga mama olibwe na misisa kala mobala kweyanga ndako ona koma burro bengi Michel abosanike fidelité na ngai ona bandela